Hello everyone, this is Vol for Life 8657 coming to you with what I promised, the next installment of the Madden of the EA Sports Football franchise, Madden NFL 19. And in this edition of Madden NFL 19, new changes have been made. First of all, we'll start by saying that they have changed the intro. Instead of them talking about a player, they've got this montage of rap music, and they are demonstrating the cover athlete, which is Tony Brown from the Pittsburgh Steelers. So if any of you all are in Pennsylvania and care about football, you all will know who he is. He is the 2019 cover athlete. Also this year in Madden 19, the 2 clicks that you just heard, I pre-ordered the Hall of Fame edition. And I did that so that I would have 3 extra days to play the game and get familiar with it, so I could bring you all these videos. And so what you heard was it just basically saying you've unlocked content, you might want to go look at it. So, let's start by talking about what's new on the home screen for Madden NFL 19, my goodness. Remember in Madden NFL 18 how we had all these different columns and rows and things to jump through? On the home screen, that is no longer the case. It is a straight menu going from left to right. That is from left to right across the screen, similar to a menu bar in Windows. And that is all. A straight menu going across. Now, also they've made interface changes throughout the game. You will find that things make a little bit more sense as to where that they are located, and we'll get more into that in the second video. Also, you will find, and I'll mention this now, and we will see it come up again later, but there is an accessibility menu. And this menu is integrated throughout the game itself. You can find it on the main menu. You can find it in the settings menu. If you are in a game and you go to settings, you will find it there. It's in franchise. It's everywhere. It is integrated. This tells me that EA is taking accessibility seriously. They want it to be easily found. They want users to be able to adjust things accordingly. And they've added some options that probably should have been there last year that were not there, and now they are. So we have easier access to options. That's also good. In the second video, I will just go ahead and tell you, we will be making some, call them pre-game adjustments, some necessary changes that will allow new players to play the game and not feel so overwhelmed. And we will also be giving you some tips about these settings. In the third video, we are going to look at building a franchise from the ground up. I know we did this in Madden 18, and a lot of it is similar, but there are things that we're going to add to it to hopefully make your experience worthwhile as well. The fourth video we plan on releasing is what does the game sound like in franchise mode? How's the commentary? What's the halftime show like? What is it that, what makes it different than last year? We're definitely going to cover that. So we have a lot to cover even in this video. So why don't we jump right into it? New inaccessibility this year. As I said, they have made an icon for accessibility. You will see that momentarily. New changes to the interface include the new, cleaner home screen, I feel. But the one big change that we have been asking for is, it's sort of implemented. I'm not going to be critical on EA too much for this, because a year ago it wasn't even there, and it's already here, at least for the main menus, and that is spoken menus. The menu voice is provided by Jonathan Coachman. One thing you will notice, I'll go ahead and tell you, in the game is that Larry Ridley is gone. Don't ask me why. I liked him, but he is gone. And so, we are being replaced. It has been replaced by this guy. And so, let us continue. We're sitting on the home screen right now. I want to see if you all can hear this as I go across the screen. The first option, by the way, for the spoken menus will not be spoken. And spoken menus must be enabled in the accessibility menu, which is something we will take a look at here on this video, is the accessibility menu. So the first option at the very left-hand side, if you are on the first option and you tap your controller, you will feel haptic feedback. The vibrations are still there. That means you are on the advertisement. That advertisement can be anything from Ultimate Team gear, which is popular right now, to just about anything that EA wants to put there. It's not going to speak. The second option will, though. Let's see if you can hear it. I will repeat each option afterwards so that you know, in case you can't hear it, so that you will know what it is. So option number 2. Franchise. Franchise has gotten some internal changes. A lot of them, most of them, we're not going to be able to really deal with. They've gotten the ability to generate draft classes. And not only can you generate your own or have the game generate them, but once they're generated, you can edit them however you want, which I think is really cool. Still going to the right, the next option is Ultimate Team. Very popular. One of the big benefits to getting the new game early was a ton of Ultimate Team content. I'm not even going to bother doing this because unless it is just requested in overwhelming amount, because of the fact that Ultimate Team is it's quite difficult and it's very visual. But you get lots of content if you pre-ordered the Hall of Fame edition, which is what this is. Don't worry, standard and Hall of Fame editions will not have feature differences. All the same features, such as accessibility, come on both editions. All that means is that you get extra bonus content with one and not the other. And of course the 3-day window to play before it is released to the general public. So, next option over to the right.
Long shot.
Long shot. That mode debuted last year. I never actually completed it last year. It's back again this year. It is continuing the story of Devin Wade and his partner in crime, as they both Colt, as they both try and get into the NFL and pursue their dream careers. Have not tested that yet.
Exhibition.
Exhibition. I wonder what's in here. We will get to that in a minute. You notice if you go up and down, you feel vibrations. That's because there's no menus under these menus unless you actually go into them. Something that I heavily requested, and I'm glad to see that they've honored that. At least on this part of the menu.
Customize.
Customize. There's all sorts of fun stuff in here, and we will actually be visiting this menu. And you heard the familiar sound that means that you have switched over to a new menu setting. Used to mean that you switched over to a new panel. That sound has not gone away. These are little bitty icons that are next to the bigger icons, but they're on the same row, so you don't need to do anything, you just keep going right. Next option. Messenger. I do not know what this is. I have a theory as to what this is, but I know you all don't want theories, you all want facts. And I don't give facts on things that I don't know about. Personally, I don't think anybody else does either, but that's neither here nor there. And remember what I said earlier about accessibility? Take a listen.
Accessibility.
Jonathan Coachman really emphasizing the syllables on accessibility. And you know what? That's all there is here on this menu. It's a very clean little strip across the top of the screen. or across the bottom, across the bottom of the screen. But it's very similar to a menu bar in Windows. Except there are no menus underneath that don't become visible, and again, unless you activate these. So that is the main menu. We've talked about what's new as far as accessibility goes. Let's go into accessibility. Let us go into this because there are some things you're going to want to set immediately upon startup. For one thing, you are not going to have the spoken menus, and I just want to notate, this is where a lot of people will probably jump on EA's case. The spoken menus are only for the home icons. Once you leave that home area, the menus do not speak. It is a step, I will say this for EA, it is a step in the right direction, but it is one step out of many, many miles that needs to be traveled. And they've made huge strides this time, but the spoken menu option needs to be expanded tremendously, and I hope to see that very soon. But EA has done a lot. Here we are in accessibility. We have hit A. Menu narration. This is the first option you will see. This is off by default. That means by default it's off. I just turned it off. To turn it on, you flip to the left. There it is. Menu narration is on. Long shot subtitles. For people who are totally blind, this is an option that's not necessary, but for some who do have sight, and for people that are hearing impaired, this is a great option if you want to participate. By default, this is off. Flip it once to the left to turn it on. Enlarge on-field graphics. If you are partially sighted or visually impaired, but have some functional vision, this will help you see things on the field better. By default, this option is off. Press left to turn it on. Controller vibrations. This is huge. Someone asked on the Audio Games forum, would the vibration and rumbles be in Madden 19? The correct answer, my friend, is yes. However, by default, vibration is set to normal. Flip it once right to turn on assist. It wraps once to off, back to normal, and assist. So normal, assist, off, normal, assist. Normal is the vibrations that every Madden player is used to. Off means there is no vibration. I don't recommend that for anybody. Assist is the vibrations you will get when the ball is thrown. It's the vibrations you will get for the kicking meter. It's the vibrations you will get when you are on the line of scrimmage and you don't know if you've called a run or a pass play. That's the assistive vibrations. That's what assist turns on. The fifth option is for color blindness. There are several options here. I don't know if I'll be able to pronounce all of these. There's normal vision, red week, green week, blue week, and back to normal vision. If you have issues with color, these options might help you. Brightness. The default is higher, or the default is what is, then there is higher and highest. We have ours set to highest. Oh, I apologize. Amber just filled me in. It is set to default. So we have higher, highest, wraps back to lowest, lower, and back to default. So, that is brightness. We will leave it where it is right now. You can adjust this however you want to. 7 is contrast. This is set to highest for Amber's benefit. The default, it goes to default, higher, highest, wraps back to low, lower, or lowest, then lower, then back to default. That's contrast. Oh, now we get into the fun stuff. Remember how in Madden 18 you had to go under settings, or under customize, under settings, scroll 15 times? I don't know how many times it was now. I don't have it in front of me right now, but it was a whole big bunch to find audio settings. No. No longer. They are in accessibility. They are right below the contrast settings. And we are going to discuss those right now. The master volume. This adjusts everything. And you can flip it to the left or the right. Obviously, more to the left decreases. More to the right increases. We have it set to 100%. Audio mix. This was another audio option. I am so glad EA put these here. The first option is set to broadcast. This puts everything at 100%. Unless you change it. On the field, this basically eliminates the commentary and decreases the stadium speakers. And I think it decreases something else. I'm not quite sure. A couple of things. And then there's custom. That basically means you can set anything, but that really doesn't hold true because once you adjust something, it's going to be custom anyway. And then it goes back to broadcast. So this menu also wraps. But what are the individual options we can adjust here? In-game commentary. If Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis drive you nuts, and they are pretty chattery little fellas, I will say that much, although I wouldn't call Charles Davis little. He is a former defensive back for my Volunteers. I would not want to be on the receiving end of one of his tackles. But if they do drive you crazy, you can lower their volume. Stadium speakers. Referees' calls will come through these speakers. So will rap music. If you want to lower it all the way down, just know that if there is a penalty, you will not know what the penalty is. That's why I leave this up. And it's not going to change the menu music. That is an independent setting. 12. Well, the next option down in the list. Crowd volume. Crowd volume by default is set to 100%. If you want to hear more clearly what's going on the field, lower this. And there are things that we will hear when we get to the point where we do a game that are different than last year. You all are going to love this. I know I did. On the field chatter. Players at the line of scrimmage and in the huddle will make noises, will talk a little smack, will give indications of what sorts of things are going on. This is set to 100. Again, crowd volume could affect that if you wanted to hear more of it. They can give clues on what's going to happen, like what the defense is expecting, what the offense should do. Menu music. This is what is playing now. We have this set to 25% right now, so that I can talk and not have to shout over the menu music. By the way, note about the menu music. This year's newest soundtrack I'm exceptionally disappointed in. There is no mix, there is no variety. It is 31, we counted them. 31 tracks for the menus. All of them were rap music. There's no country, there's no rock, there's no nothing. Madden 17, at the very least, had a variety, and 18, and disappointingly so, 19 does not. The music that you are hearing in the background is the same music that you heard in 18. They have not even bothered to update their instrumentals, but we have it set to instrumental. Menu sound effects. Again, very important that these are on. This will let you know that you are moving to options. It will also let you know when you are picking plays and things. Keep that up to 100. I don't recommend you changing it. Now, a note about making changes. If for some reason up, or you accidentally changed the wrong thing, or you got lost in this menu, you can hit the Y button or the triangle button if you are a PlayStation 4 user to undo the changes. However, these changes are automatically saved. So if I hit the B button or the circle button, we are back. Thank you, Jonathan Coachman. We are back at the accessibility menu. Jonathan Coachman has told us that we are on that option. Well, that concludes part 1. We have looked at the home screen. We have discussed what is new in accessibility. The next video is going to include a look inside of the exhibition menu and options that you should change before you start playing Madden NFL 19. Also, a note that I would like to give here is a disclaimer. I have never asked for this before, but it is clear that more and more people want more and more videos of games to see if they are accessible, and I am more than happy to provide those videos. However, it must be stated that the price of these games, especially buying multiples of them, can add up really quickly. I would like, if it is at all possible, to get some donations so that I can continue to create awesome videos like these for other games such as FIFA 2019, NHL 2019, NBA Live 2019, and others that you all may be interested in. If you are interested in donating, please send a donation to the follower, TheFollower 212 at gmail.com. Again, that is the follower, TheFollower 212 at gmail.com. It is greatly appreciated, and I will also be able to answer questions about the games there as well. Until next time, this is Vol for Life 8657 signing off, and our next video will be Inside Exhibition and Pre-Game Adjustments.